Well, hi, and thanks for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel. We've got a beautiful day here in New England, and we've got a beautiful rifle here on the bench. What is this rifle? This is a Irma, made in Germany, made in West Germany to be specific, because this gun was built before the wall came down. So this gun was built in the late 70s or early 80s. I don't really have a date on it. I'm sure if I did a little research I could figure it out going by the serial number, but I'm not concerned with that really. What I'm concerned with is just this rugged little excellent quality lever action spring piston powered rifle, all built out of steel, wood, and aluminum. The receiver is aluminum. The barrel bands, I believe, are aluminum. All the rest of the parts that aren't wood are steel. And the stock itself is a beautiful piece of wood. We're going to take a closer look at it while I go over some of the specs for you. So have a look, and we'll go over this thing. This is a Erma ELG10 air rifle. It's a lever action 177 caliber Springer. It's a very short and handy rifle. It comes in at 37 3/4 inches long, and it only weighs 6 pounds. These were built in the late 70s into the early 80s, imported into America through Beeman Precision Arms Company. They didn't sell very well, and there's a reason for that. Even though the quality is there, and that the quality really justifies the price in those days, but the price was over $300. And that meant that this gun was competing with guns that were a lot more powerful, and that was all the rage, as it still is today. Everybody that shoots an air gun is looking for power, it seems. Well, but this gun was not a high-powered gun. This was only around 500 feet per second or so, where it was competing at that price with the R1, which had just hit the scene, and everybody wanted an R1. That was the most powerful air rifle you could get your hands on. So if you were going to spend $300, most people were going for that better rifle, and leaving this one behind just because of its velocity, and overlooking the fact that the quality is just heirloom quality. This gun's going to last forever. It's just a delightful little rifle. I want to show you something else that's a really cool feature that you're not going to find on almost any other air rifle. I've never seen this before. But if you take the lower tube here, which would be the magazine on a standard lever action rifle that this is modeled after, you can unscrew the knurled end cap. And what do you have here? You have a cleaning rod. Isn't that amazing? It's just, just a little touch like that, it means a lot. That's so cool. They're in the rear of the receiver. There's your safety right here. You can pull it back or push it forward to fire, and that's in the place that the hammer would be on a typical lever action rifle. So I want to show you, I'm going to give you a close-up of how the action works. I'm going to try to get the gun up closer to the camera so you can see how it's cocked and fired, but just such a cool little rifle. I'm really impressed. So check out how you operate the action, and then we'll do the trigger pull gauge, chronograph, and then we'll shoot a couple of shots downrange at that 8-inch metal disc. All right, so let's take a look. All right, so here we have a better view of the rifle. I put the peep sight on a few minutes ago just to give myself a little better aiming than with the open sights. I'm not going to scope this rifle, even though I shoot generally with a scope. And the reason for that is this is a low-powered gun, short-range plinker, so I don't really need a scope for it. Now, because it's a lever action, that's how you cock the gun. Now, as I pull the lever upward, I'm going to hold this a little awkward, and as I pull the lever upward, you're going to notice that the breech right here is going to open as well, and that's going to expose the rear of the barrel so that we can go ahead and insert a pellet. So if we draw the lever up, this is cocking the gun. Okay, and now that the gun's cocked, if we look down in here, you can see the rear of the barrel. That's where you would put your pellet, and then from there you just close the lever, and the gun is ready to fire. All right, and that's how you cock and load the Erma ELG10 177 caliber lever action air rifle. Okay, so it's time to do the trigger pull test. Don't expect a real light pull with this gun. This is again a short range plinker. The trigger isn't going to be exceptional. I can tell you, however, that it does break very clean, even though it's going to have some weight to the pull, I'm sure. Again, so we're going to cock the rifle. We'll load a pellet. Now, if you'll notice, I'm holding this like this. And that's so that if for any reason something fails while my fingers are in this breech, I don't get them removed. All right, one pellet in the breech. There's not a lot of room in there either. It's a little difficult to load, but it's not terrible. Okay, so you're going to notice a little spring buzz which I'm going to do absolutely nothing about. I'm not going to do anything to this rifle. I'm going to leave it as is. I'm never going to open it up unless it breaks. All right, so pull number 1. 4 pounds 3 ounces. 4 pounds 3 ounces, which is perfectly fine for a plinker. We'll do it 3 times and we'll take an average. Shot number 2. Four pounds 12 ounces. I just love this little rifle. You can hear that it has an anti-bear trap, so that is an added safety feature to help protect your fingers. But I don't trust, I think we talked about this once before, I don't trust machines. Machines break. They break all the time, which is why you're never going to catch me on a roller coaster. All right. Okay. Shot number 3, final shot. 4 pounds 10 ounces, we'll take an average. 4 pounds 8.5 ounces. So again, that's not a match trigger, but it's certainly adequate for a gun that was designed to do what this gun was designed to do. So we're going to cut away here. We'll be back with the chronograph test, and we'll see what this thing's producing for energy. All right, so it's time for the big velocity test on this powerhouse of an air rifle. Again, this thing was rated somewhere around 500 feet per second back in the day, which is probably one of the reasons why it didn't sell very good, because it was priced real high, as we mentioned, but the power was real low. And back in those days, just like today, people that are into air guns seem to be into power for whatever reason. Okay, so cocked and loaded. This will be shot number 1. We'll take 5 shots and we'll do an average. Let's see, we'll get a little closer. Shot number 1. 541. That's actually better than I expected. 541. You can hear that little spring buzz. Like I said, I don't plan on doing anything about it. I'm going to try to leave this gun unmolested, only because it is quite rare. These were available in Europe. I think Webley was rebranding them as the Webley Ranger, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can correct me on that. But around the same time, and I'll bet you they didn't sell too good in Europe either, just because of that price tag. It's really a shame, because it's such a wonderful rifle. It's a shame, but it's not, because it's a little hard to find, especially here in the States. Now, what's kind of cool story about that, this will be shot number 2. 607, that's surprising. I wonder if we got a little dieseling going on here. Amazing. Shot number 2 is 607. So at any rate, I really wanted one of these. I've been wanting one for a long time. So I went ahead and put an ad on some of the forum classified sections, just telling people I was looking for one. And within a few minutes, I don't believe an hour had passed, I got a reply from a guy who goes by the name of Kingfisher on some of the forums. His name is John, and I've met him before because he lives in my state. He's not far away. He's another avid airgun collector. He answered my ad, said, "I've got one. If you're interested, here's the price." And I said, "Yeah, I'm interested." And I didn't realize who he was at first, because I didn't recognize that screen name as being him. So at any rate, we started texting back and forth, and he said, "Are you in Rhode Island?" And I noticed his number was in Rhode Island as well. That's where I live. And I said, "Hey, I know who you are. Your name's John, right?" And he said, "Yeah." So we figured out who each other was, and we made it a time to meet. And I went up there, took one look at this little beauty, and I knew it had to be mine. And John was kind enough to part with it, so I can't thank you enough, John. I just absolutely love having this gun in my collection. So I'm really thrilled to be able to add this to my collection of fine air rifles. So we're going to take shot number 3. Oops, we're already cocked and loaded. All right, I get talking, I forget what I'm doing. All right, shot number 3. A little closer. 645. That's impressive. I was not expecting that with this gun. Now, we are shooting lightweight pellets. These are, what are they? H&N, I think? H&N Excite pellets. This is an economy brand pellet. But the reason I'm shooting these is because they're also the lightest pellet that I happen to have in my inventory right now. They come in at about 7.4 grains, which It might explain some of these velocity readings, but I'm still impressed. I was not expecting this kind of power out of this gun. I was figuring it was going to be in the 400. All right, so that was shot number 3. This is shot number 4. 537. So we don't have a lot of consistency here, but again, I'm not going to do anything about that. This gun's going to stay just the way it is. 537. Again, a little fumbly to load, at least for me, with my big fat fingers. There we go. This is shot number 5. Shot number 5. 489, go figure, right? Again, certainly not a consistent gun. It probably does need seals, but again, it's not going to get them unless it stops shooting altogether. So we're going to cut away here. We'll come back and we'll do a few shots down range and see if we can't ring that little 8-inch bell out there. We'll give you the over-the-shoulder view that we've been doing lately. People seem to enjoy that. And if we're doing good on that little 8-inch disc, we're going to try to reach out there at 60 yards and ring that bell for you. So stick around. I'll be right back. Okay, so it's time to do a little plinking fun with the Erma ELG10 air rifle, made in West Germany back in the late 70s to early 80s. It's beautiful lever action, high quality, solid little lever action. I just like this gun. It's very unique in the fact that it's this design built with this quality. Daisy built a BB gun. They made some Red Riders and so forth. Those were lever action, but they also made a 1889, I think they called it, and that was a little better quality, but it was certainly nowhere near the quality of this. So I believe the stock was plastic and it relied on some other plastic parts. But this gun right here, you won't find a piece of plastic on it anywhere. All right, so we're going to shoot at that 8-inch disc that you might be able to see over my shoulder. It looks far away, but it's only 25 yards. And we'll see how this little gun does. If you listen carefully, you'll probably hear it ring. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't take too long for that pellet to get there. 25 yards. Again, we're shooting the Excite Diablo pellets, and they come in at 7.4 grain. No breeze today. Cool. Alright, it's doing a good job, even with peep sights and these old eyes. I happen to have this this peep that fits a dovetail in one of my parts drawers. I've had it for years. I think the last time it was mounted on a gun, it was on a 22 rifle. But I'm glad to have a use for it now. Alright, one more time with that 8-inch disc. Cool. I just love this little gun. I'm happy to be able to share it with you guys. There's very little information. I don't know if there's even another YouTube video on this gun. I guess if you look around, you could probably find some info on it. I was able to find an article on the Pyramid Air blog, and that gave me quite a bit of information. It was written by Tom Gaylord, who's a very knowledgeable man in the air gun world. And yeah, I think he has 2 of these in his collection, or at least he did when that article was written. All right, now we're going to try to hit that bell at 60 yards. It's going to require an awful lot of holdover, and with the breeze we got today, it might even require a little bit of windage adjustment, but we're going to give it a shot. We'll try several tries and see if we can hit that target. All right, let's give it shot number 1. Missed one, number 1. Okay, this is the first time I got a whiff of it, but this gun is dealing. I can smell the smoke when I open the breech. So that would explain some of that inconsistency in velocity. All right, we'll try shot number 2. We got some wind. I don't know if you could hear it. I'll try to turn it up on the video when I do the editing. But we actually scored. We got a hit out there at 60 yards with this little 500 and some odd foot per second air rifle. All right, let's see if we can do it just off the shoulders. I mean, off the elbows today. Okay, so that is the Erma ELG10 air rifle, 177 caliber lever action rifle. Super high quality, really nice gun. I'm so pleased to have it in my collection. I wanted to share it with you guys. I couldn't wait to do this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that. Hit the bell to be reminded of future videos, and by all means, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one. Thanks again, folks. Have a great day.